So the kids just went down with their grandparents and got some lobsters straight off the fishing boat. And when you buy them straight off the fishing boat from the fisherman who's been working hard all morning, they don't have their elastics on them. So these little guys are quite feisty and ready to fight. Notice that they have two claws. One of them's pretty small and one of them's really big. And this big chomping one here, this is the one that's going to grip you and really hurt you. And then the other one is just kind of the hand that they use. So we have $200 worth of lobsters here, which in Ontario would probably get us 4 lobsters cooked at a restaurant. Maybe not even. And you see that this fisherman gave us quite a bit. So let's take a look at what it means to do a lobster boil here in Prince Edward Island. It's about noon when the fisherman came in. And this is a lobster boil setup, which in Ontario we call a corn boil setup. The boiler. These are all bottles of water filled from the ocean, and we're going to ask Trent why one of them is yellow, I believe.
He put seagrass in it.
Really, you just don't boil lobsters in regular water. You have to lobsters in seawater. So that's just down from the shore here, and we had a bunch of kids go down there and collect it. So this is a normal lobster boil in PEI. We're going to get this boil fired up, and then we'll put in the lobsters one by one and show you how it's done here in PEI. This is our Father's Day feast. We do this every year. And the lobster, this is Loretta.
Hi.
And the lobster boiler is boiling away here. And I was just telling Loretta is born and raised in PEI. I was just telling her that what we use this for at home is normally corn, but I use it to boil maple syrup sap down to maple syrup. And I use it to boil my hens and roosters after I butcher them in order to loosen their feathers. So here in PEI, they use it for lobsters. Here they are without any elastics on them, because lobsters actually grow, live without elastics on them in the bottom of the ocean. So these ones came straight from the ocean this morning. They were happy in the ocean this morning. Now they're going to have a bit of an adventure today, and they're all grabbing onto each other. Not the happiest little things. And these boys' job is to count how many lobsters we got for $200. They grab on really tight.
These ones aren't letting go of each other.
And one side is a crusher, and the other side does fine detail. So I'm sticking my lighter in the crusher side here. This side does fine detail. It doesn't try to kill things. That's how this guy eats. This kind of cuts it as like its knife. But the other side is, that is pretty hard. But the other side is its crusher, and it's really got a lot of muscle there, but the muscle is the part we're going to eat. How many lobsters do we have here, guys? How many lobsters on the lawn here? 21 lobsters for $200. Not bad. And nice and fresh. And ready for the boiler. Have a little activity in the hot seawater. All right, so why do you pull that off? To see if they're done?
No, they're done. What's that?
They've been boiling for 10 minutes, so you put 10 lobsters in, you brought them to a boil, and then...
Yeah. I'm just stuffing the...
And that's not seawater that you're blanching them in, right?
Yes. Mostly.
It is seawater?
Mostly, yeah.
And it would have been all seawater if we had that much seawater. If we had gone and got that much seawater.
So do you want me to put the other ones in? Yep. All right. Well, sorry, dude.
Don't you hold them by the tail, or it doesn't matter?
No. Just hold them so I don't bite you.
You're putting them in here.
Yeah. 4.
You gonna get them all in?
Yeah, I hope so.
Hello, guy. So with lobsters, you just hold them, just like when you're picking up a crayfish, you just hold them by the middle so they can't reach you from the middle. If you hold them by the tail, they can go back and pinch you, just like when you're crayfish fishing. Just hold them by the middle here. Just see if this is a female.
It's pretty close to
Sometimes they have little babies
it's not on it.
climbing.
It's on that.
Sometimes they have little babies holding on to the underneath of them, just like a crayfish as well. Because of course these are closely related to crayfish, and that's pretty fun when you see those. Anyway, they're pretty upset. Oh, we want to cook them all the same, so we shouldn't really be playing with them right now. But Lobsters aren't red.
Oh, Jesus.
Lobsters aren't red when they're in the ocean. This is the color of them. Go on in. And once you boil them,
They turn red.
and that's number 21. Once you boil them, that's when they turn nice and red like this. So they're going to come back to a boil, and then they boil for 10 minutes. And then that's it. And then we're going to open these and eat them as is. Sop up the salt water with some nice buttered rolls. Typically served with potato salad, sometimes a coleslaw, and that's how a lobster boil is done here in PEI. And when you take them out of the quenching, you have to lay them on their back so that you don't lose any of that juicy salt water while you're preparing the rest of your dish.